we get on YouTube. We're YouTubing how to pop a shoulder back in.
What?
I've never done anything that.
What are you on about? It's every
No,
week. But at this present time, I'm just so bad that it's a struggle.
What's up, everyone? What's up, everyone? Dean Wilson here. I'm sure you are all sick of us now, but we are back for episode 6 of Against the Rut. And you guys asked and we delivered. We're going to answer the fans' questions and go through everything that you guys have to ask. But anyways, good to see you boys. What's happening? Tommy Bell, how's things?
What up? Quite impressed we've made it 6 episodes, to be honest. We've schedules have aligned 6 times for 3 different people, 3 different countries. I think we deserve a pat on the back, to be honest.
Yeah, it's quite good. If anyone's wondering the bags under my eyes, I just woke up. It's 7 a.m. here, 8 p.m. for them boys in the UK. So we're making it work, making it happen. Tommy,
Bill's actually in Spain, aren't you, mate?
I'm in Spain.
Are you?
9 here.
Is it 9?
He's had a quick 2-day trip back to Spain for a bit of super enduro because he's done well because it's actually pissing down here. Yeah, really bad weather today. But I've been busy doing a bit of Bill sport. I've been enduro riding 3 times in the past week, which is very keen. But I'm actually enjoying it. I went a day out with Billy and Ed, and then 3 times in the past 2 weeks. I done like a little local enduro down south, easy one. Then I went out with Bill and Ed at Tong, which was a really good day. We just dropped to YouTube, or I have. Bill's a bit upset because I stole most of his content. And then I went out yesterday in Wales, mid-Wales, and rode enduro, which I really, really enjoyed. So it's actually, since the last episode, been quite busy, which has been nice, really. Busy on my bike for a change.
I need to get on a ride with you boys. That would be a good laugh. I would enjoy that. Did Bill take you on some techie stuff or what?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, there's a place called Tong, and it's like this big. How many acres would you say it is, Bill?
I don't know, but for most non-English people watching, it's not that big. We don't really have big areas of land to ride in the UK, but Tong is one of the bigger ones we have. It's like actually a pretty condensed area, but there's kind of trails just going every which direction. We do there's always a round or like a race in the UK, usually like January, February time, which is like just a full-on mud race. You've probably seen some videos, and it's, quite a famous race in the UK. Anyway, it appears to be Tommy's favourite enduro venue, although that's what he kept saying when we were there anyway.
No, it is, yeah. I really, really enjoyed it. I was just watching the video back there because, you'll like the vlog, honestly. And I was trying to film it.
We cardoed up. We had 4 people talking in a group on cardos as we were riding around.
All right. Oh, that's cool.
A normal trail ride enduro day out, I'll be honest, doesn't excite me that much. I prefer it's just different to what I'm used to. But the addition of the cardo systems has it's so good.
Good laugh. Good laugh with the boys. What would I take out there, like if we did it, like a Honda 450, like one of them X things?
What do you ride?
Like one of them off-road ones?
No, I had a Honda, like enduro, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a motocross bike around there.
Even a motocross bike with an enduro tire is not the end of the world. That's what Tommy did when we went out one day last year, because there was no time for enduro in time. Again, you don't need to go crazy, especially when it's muddy and slippy. That almost makes it better, I think. It's just you don't need to find anything too hard. It's watching people get stuck and slide. It's just, I thought you can see the appeal. Really ask you, Tommy's teammate, the young kid on the team, came as well. It's just, I think it's also new to him, that kind of pace of a day rather than just being 100% on the motocross track and do nothing else. I can really see why the appeal to motocross riders, where that is exciting and something new. So no, it's been good.
When I was riding for Husky and they had the enduro cross track in the back in California, I went and spun a lap around it. Always had supercross suspension, and I was like mind blowing. The fact that he's hit jumps or just kickered out, you know what I mean? They're just kickers. They're built as kickers. You're hitting a log at the top of the jump and then the big concrete, round things, and it's insane. I was so scared I was going to smash a hole in my engine.
Quite bad. Yeah, I'm not very good at it, but I reckon I would be better than you at this.
Oh, I like it.
I would definitely.
No, I generally think, there's not many people that I'd be better than. But I just think that I'd be better at you at that because I've seen you do some things on that sort of thing. With your knees and that, you're just...
Yeah, the knees aren't good, but that would be a good vlog right there, because you've had about probably 5 days more than me all around. I come in cold turkey, but I got some bottle that you don't have, and I do have a little bit of skill. When it comes to that, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I think
What are
that'd be
we doing?
good.
Like hill climbs? Are we hopping rocks or?
Bit of everything. Have a watch later and let me
The
know,
hill
and we
climbs
arrange
would be
days.
fun. I'd enjoy that. Bill, how's break been? What do we have? Because we raced the same weekend, obviously not the same races, but the 22nd. How you been? What's been going on?
I've been a bit all over the place. Did I mention I had a bad ankle when we were last on?
Don't think so.
I had a bad ankle. Well, it wasn't that bad, but I went and got it scanned anyway, just because I was one of them where I was like, it's not really bad, but I'd just like to know exactly what's up with it. And then it took like a week to get the results of the scan, but I also didn't really push or like try to act with any urgency because I didn't think it was that bad. And scan results came through a week later, and they're like, oh, and then I sent it to the Red Bull doctor and physio, and then they're all freaking out, like, you need to go and see this person, here, go and see this person, see this specialist, and so I basically just drove around to various hospitals for the last 7 days.
Oh.
On Wednesday last week, I was having surgery. And then now after a different scan on Friday, surgery's avoidable. But the whole time, it's not felt like really bad. So it's been a bit of a strange one. Yeah, I can continue with caution, or like a lot of caution for now. I'm supposed to be in like a boot and stuff, but just had a few weeks off and was kind of eager to get back on a bike. And then we've got very little time from the final hard enduro till the start of super enduro. And like I said, I was in the UK for a couple of weeks, and then the weather wasn't looking good there. So I like made a impulsive decision to fly to Spain for a couple of days to get the super enduro grind started, which started today, first day on my 350. And yeah, happy with that. Was kind of less bad than I was expecting for first day back.
That's a good feeling in it. A little bit of a sigh of relief. I'm glad you're not too bad. Always something with you in there.
I'd had a good run. I'd had like a full year up to this point. It's been nice, but yeah, back to my usual ways.
Well, we'll dive into it then, because this week's episode, as Dee mentioned a little while ago, is community questions. So we've had questions that have been sent over of the various social platforms for Against the Rut, and we're going to answer them, we've had a quick look, and there's some good questions on there, so quite excited for this one. Bill's going to be the host and read them out for us today. So do you want to crack on with the first question, Bill?
Right, let's go. I'll be question master. The first one is from Zip Mazop 96. What's that? This is actually a really good question to start off. If all bikes were wiped off the face of the earth, what would be your next hobby?
All right, I'll go. Because I'm really, really shit at every single thing I've ever done, even bike-related stuff other than motocross around a track, that I can get away with being half decent, or I have done up until this point in my life. But there's no sport that I've found yet that I've even remotely good at, which is upsetting.
It says hobby, though. You don't think you need to be good.
No, I know. I mean, that's what I get to.
It's only hobby, you kind of want to be good at it.
Yeah, you want to be good. But golf,
I was
we
going
was
to
on
say,
a simulator the other night. That was bad, really bad. I just generally feel like, maybe if I didn't race bikes, I wouldn't feel like I'm going to dislocate my shoulders and break my wrist playing golf somehow. But BMXing I used to do as a kid, but I don't think I'd do that.
Yeah, but I would have said bikes were wiped off the face of the earth. That includes anything 2 wheels.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then I wouldn't be riding the BMX. Honestly, so hard. It's such a hard question. I haven't given other sports long enough of a chance to even be remotely good at or enjoy, because I feel like Bill said, you have to be somewhat good at something to start enjoying it. Like golf, I'm that bad that I can't remotely enjoy it because I've got no aim to even get to. But yeah, to round the question up.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess I like the thought of like snowboarding and that. I've never even done a snowboarding holiday. No, but like it's one thing I want to do when I finish riding bikes and not doing it, and with the kids now, is do a bit of snowboarding. So like, I don't know if I could see myself being like a full-time snowboarder, but off the top of my head now, it's a sport that I quite enjoy.
Yeah, I
think I'd take to that quite well. Go on, Bill.
I used to actually, when I was a kid, skiing was probably my second favorite hobby. But since I broke my leg in 2019 and my foot doesn't really work properly, I can still do it, and it's just not that enjoyable. In fact, it's made most sports quite difficult, to be honest. I'm going to go Darts.
Darts, yeah.
I was
They
actually
play that in the
watching,
office every day.
I was watching Eddie Hearn's Netflix show. Have you seen that at all?
Yeah,
And
I watched it. It's
obviously,
good.
yeah, they do the boxing, but I didn't realize how big darts is. Like they have like
Darts is
quite the crowd and
massive.
everything. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Coming up to darts season now as well over Christmas time. World Championships.
I didn't know it was that big until I watched
So
that
you're going
program.
darts, Belly?
I'm going darts. Like my first answer was going to be football, but then I also, if my drop foot from 2019's hindering my skiing career, it's really massively hindering my football career now I think about it. So yeah, I think I need to pick a sport, a safe hobby.
Oh, was this question like if it was eliminated right now?
Yeah.
I thought it was like eliminated before.
Yeah. Well, what's your next go-to? What are you going to pick?
Yeah, probably not snowboarding in the UK. Just yeah.
Logistics might be difficult, that one.
Definitely wouldn't be darts. I mean, I'd like to be good at golf because I like the lifestyle that it can bring as you get a bit older, of going out with your mates, going on golf holidays. But at this present time, I'm just so bad that it's a struggle. So I would say I'd quite like to be good at golf now. Yeah.
I'm honestly I'm similar to Tommy, pretty at everything. When you brought up snowboarding, I would love to like be a good snowboarder. I got on this snowboard kick in 2014, and this was before the knees. 2014 was the last year that I had no torn ACLs. My knees were good. The check knee lights weren't even on then. And during the season, like I was racing Supercross, and me and Sarah were going like twice a week up to Big Bear. And I was just like on this kick because we would go, and every time I'd go, I'd get a little bit better and I'd do something. And it was just so scary. I would do something that I probably shouldn't be doing, but I would do it anyways. And then I would land it. And then like that high you would get it was good fun. I mean, I definitely had a few good crashes, but now my knees just so buckled. I can't do anything. Like Tom says, here in the States, everyone golfs. Like in my, motocross here, all the riders golf and they seem to be pretty good at it. But same thing again, that hurts my knee. I'm at it. So it's not looking too promising for me.
You just everything.
Yeah. Just go to gym and get warm.
Just get swole at the gym. And massive. Then I love going on the lake's real fun too. I used to like wakeboarding. I could jump the wake and that was before the knees. I'm not doing that. But what I can do, which
wakeboarding freaks me out for knees more than most things. That feeling of standing up on a wakeboard really trips me out. And my knees are not like 20 times better than yours.
Yeah. But wake surfing's fun, and that's actually quite safe. I'll enjoy that. You're going like, I think the boat's going like 12, 14 miles an hour, and you're just cruising behind the wave, and your feet aren't actually buckled in. You're not like locked in. So it's a lot safer. It's nice. It's fun, relaxing, good times on that. But honestly, not very good at anything.
Wonderful answer. We'll move on because the next one's a bit more motorcycle related. So the pair of you.
There we go.
It's from Chris Thomaset. I'm trying to pronounce the names so people are happy that encourage them to comment more. But if I'm murdering your name, I do apologize. Anyway, what would you guys say is the single biggest difference in feeling between a modern steel frame and a modern alloy frame? I've always ridden steel frames, never alloy. Well, I've also never ridden alloy, so I'm tapping out of this question. These two fire away.
Never.
No, not on a enduro. I've rode a KTM for 1 year, then a Husky for 9 years.
Dean's done both. I've done both. And it's quite hard to answer the question because I've never, even when I see like the top riders now switching and people like they're never going to get along with this frame or they're never going to get along with that frame. In my opinion, I've sort of jumped on it and been like, yeah, I've cracked on pretty soon and not really had a big issue on either and had issues with both at the same time. So I honestly can't really tell. I can't really say what the big difference is with the modern steel or modern alloy. Really wouldn't know. Just be a guess. But I mean, Dean's done a similar thing to me. He's rode a KTM. How many years have you done KTM or Husky?
8 pretty much.
Probably. Yes. Yeah, so you've done a bit more than me. I've done 4, 5 in total over my career and always gone back. But I've never had a problem going to and from either, to be honest. So I couldn't answer the question. You'd probably know more, Dean, just because it's been a bit more recent to you.
Yeah, well, I was on Cali PC all those years, and then I signed with Factory KTM, which was steel frame. And I will be honest, I'd actually had a tough time adjusting to the KTM that year. It just felt a lot more, I don't even know if this makes sense, but it felt a lot more rigid to me. It didn't have as much flex. I would jump on it straight onto Supercross, and I just didn't feel that comfortable on it. But then, I don't know, I the first 2 years I blew my knee out anyway, so I didn't really get a lot of time that I needed on it. But then when I went to the Husky, I started to actually feel a lot more comfortable. But it felt just a bit more rigid than me. Like, it didn't flex as much in the rhythms and in the corners. And then, so I did the whole Husky stint, and then I jumped on a Honda. And then, yeah, it was a bit of adjusting for me. It was just the feel wise in the pockets of the rhythm sections and going around the turns, and it definitely is a big difference feeling for me.
Next one's actually for me from Asa Funa. What was the story behind the one time Brilly drank some race fuel? Well, I actually think it was just pump fuel, to be honest. It wasn't even race fuel. But the original, there's quite a few, well, there's a few add-ons to this story, but the original story of that was, it was during Erzberg 2019. At Erzberg in the past, it was always very unclear, like whether there was a fuel stop. Now, with it being a world championship and FIM, it's all a lot more official and like none of this goes on anymore. But like, it was like a thing where if there was a fuel stop, it would be like super early on in the race, so no one would stop there. Everyone would like take their own fuel and get it in the middle of like the woods in like secret and stuff like that. So then there's one particular year we had fuel in a guy who was my friend who was helping his backpack, but I ended up actually stopping at the fuel stop and put petrol in, so we didn't need it in the middle of the race. And then the race goes on. We get to a section called Green Hell, which at that time was the hardest part of the race, like, by far. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I remember I was stuck there for a long time. Like, I didn't do that well at Erzberg that year. I was just coming back from my broken leg. And I'd pushed, and eventually I think me, Johnny, and Taddy helped each other up this section. And I had arrived there first. So I'd been like pushing and just getting stuck by myself. Eventually they arrived, helped each other. Eventually pushed my bike to the top, and then, got handed a 2-liter bottle of what I was assuming was water. So I just went to just splash and drink and cool myself down all at once. And like as it exited the bottle top, like the smell hit us, and then it hit my lips and just burned and like went in my mouth. And had some aggressive words to say back to this lad called Harrison. He's like the friend of my friend who was actually helping us in the race. My mate had just said to him, "Go and get a bottle of water out of my bag." And then the guy who it was isn't like big. He likes bikes, but he doesn't go to many races and stuff like that. Kind of knew no better than to check what he was getting a bottle of. So yeah, that was that really.
I didn't know it was a mate of a mate, and it was like planned drink.
Andy Lockley's mate.
Oh, I thought it was just a stranger in the crowd.
No, I'd actually hung out with him quite a bit, and I felt like obviously I was really quite aggressive at the time, like the video.
Think about after you took off, the poor guy was probably just standing there for a couple hours.
I felt so bad. I took him for Nando's like a few weeks later, and I paid for it. Yeah, because I felt bad because
he went viral. The poor guy.
Luckily, the like good thing I wasn't doing that well that year, so I wasn't like. You what?
Has Dean seen the video?
Yeah, I seen it.
In like 2019,
I brought it up to Billy. Poor guy's trying to help, then he goes viral.
I felt really bad afterwards. Luckily, I wasn't in a podium position or doing that well in the race because, I did have a bit of a sore stomach afterwards. In fact, I have chronic indigestion these days. I wonder if that was the spot. 2 mouthfuls of petrol.
Billy, kind of jump in when you said, you were stuck in a section, and then like you, Manny, like I can't remember who else you said, help each other up the hill, right? You are all racing against each other, and that's your competition. And then, but you work as a team to get up the hill because you probably maybe wouldn't get up it if you didn't. Like, how does that work? Like, they help you go up first since you were there first, or because if Tommy was racing, he'd get everyone right off and just.
That's a very accurate analogy of what would happen. Yeah, no, I guess it's just like kind of gentleman's agreement, really. Like whoever's there first, and I can't remember. So the year before, in the exact same section, Green Hell, me and Manny also helped each other up, and we'd arrived there first and second with quite a big lead. Like I think it was like over 5-minute lead to third place, and like we helped each other up that year, but we both just it was probably the wrong decision to do at that point because we ended up I'd got there first, but then I had another go, so then he got in front of me, and then we started helping each other. And then when I went to help him, I'd left my bike like off the main line, so it'd give like a free pass for anyone else to just keep having a go. And basically the hill got so much easier each time you had a go, each time someone tried it. And then Graham and Johnny ended up getting up by themselves. And me and Manny were still like busy helping each other, and had just completely gassed ourselves.
The one year at Erzberg, a few of you crossed the line together, didn't you? Or was that before your time?
It was before my time. So that was also the same section, Green Hill. Doesn't exist anymore. Thankfully, it's been filled in and it's covered in stone, because it just ruined the race a lot of times. But that was either the 2014 or 2015. Everyone got to that section and helped each other, but they were there for so long. So Erzberg has a maximum time limit of 4 hours. That's basically the cutoff. And by the time the 4 guys got to the top of there, they were like, we're not going to be able to ride the rest of the track within the 4 hours. So it got like announced that they rode straight to the finish line and finished together. And there was 4 winners. LK the Muncher says, do you guys support any teams of any other sports, or do you even watch any other sports?
Have you just made that one up, Bill, or not?
Oh, I haven't. Well, I'm actually I knew you wouldn't have anything useful to add since you do nothing else in your life other than motocross. But I was thinking for the American audience, they have a more involved in. So, Dean, any other sports you support? Go and watch?
Not really, to be honest. But I used to be a big LA Lakers fan, basketball, because that was back when Kobe played basketball. We'd go to some games, LA Lakers, and I was just a big Kobe Bryant fan, so I watched a lot of those games. But other than that, not really. But I don't really like getting invested in teams in that, because if you get invested and you're that much of a fan and then they lose, it like ruins your day. You know what I mean? When you're that invested. So
I was struggling a minute as a Newcastle United fan after the 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's how it was with the Lakers.
Before you done a win.
Yeah, we won last 2 in the week in the cup, but then last 2 weekends, let 1-0 up, lost 2-1, and then 3-1. Bad times as a Newcastle fan. I like football anyway. To be honest, I watch every sport that's going on. Like if there's a sport on TV, I'll happily sit and watch it. But the one I mainly really actively follow football.
I used to support Arsenal as a kid.
Did you?
No, I did for real.
Who's your favourite Arsenal player?
David Seaman.
Hey, nice little.
No, that was the year I was supporting it. I actually got a football kit for my birthday, but I wasn't happy with it, and then that must have been when the support finished. But yeah, it was Arsenal.
What was wrong with it?
I don't know. I was on holiday. We was on a family holiday, and I remember Mum said I cried because I got this football kit. So I don't know whether maybe it was the away one and I went to home one. I'm not quite sure. But that's why I always say to Bill about David Seaman, because he was in goal for Arsenal at the time.
I've found one for the pair of you can answer this. SMF-MLG. What's the dumbest crash you've ever had? And have you ever had to hide a crash from your team or mechanic?
I've got a couple of answers.
I got a good one for this. This year, obviously I got the factory Honda HRC fell in spot. Last round, last race on the bike. We're in Salt Lake City Supercross. And so every time, like before I go out for practice, I ride around the pits, just feel the bike, you know, whatever. So I'm riding around the pits. There's some fans in the pits. And I'm right in front of the Honda truck. Like everyone's there. I'm just like kind of doing some and, you know, little front brake. And then I go to turn around with like a little bit of speed, not much. And I just fully tuck the front in the pits. Like bike just slams on the ground. I'm all scraped up. And like I jump up so fast. I look around, everyone's laughing. So then I just have a laugh about it. I'm like, it's finally happened. Like all these years I crashed in the pits and went on to had a great day. I think that actually like broke off the edge a little. Oh, it's quite funny though. Like the front brake was all scraped up and my arm was scraped up and fans are laughing. I'm like, oh, and then I got a few DMs like, oh, I seen you crashing.
Bill done one at the weekend.
On my sighting lap on Saturday when I was just at a local motocross track, that got captured on camera as well. Stood up, coming out of a corner, bit of black ice.
Yeah.
He literally, Dean, he's gone on the track, public day, Moto 101, like busiest track. He's waited till like third session to get there a bit late. He's gone through the pits on the back wheel a couple of times, waving at people.
You exaggerate the whole story.
A little endo through the paddock, and then he's gone on track, stood up, and then like he's come round, and he's just, I'll send you the video later, the old front's just gone. Just slow-mo, just straight on the floor.
Video's doing the rounds of the MX tracks of the UK Facebook page at the minute. Because it was on my right side as well, and I probably could have just had a dab, but I was like, oh, this is my first lap. I don't really want to test the ankle out. So I just plowed headfirst into the ground, fucking peeked down like this.
It's brilliant.
The only other time was when I was an amateur. We had a parade lap before the race, and there's this like triple in a rhythm section that I hadn't done yet. So I figured, oh, I'm going to do this on the parade lap because I was the first race up that morning. So I'm like, I'm going to bust this thing out. So in the race, I got it down. I bust it. It was quite peaky, crashed over the bars, 7 a.m., first thing in the morning, like having warmed up, nothing. I'm 16 and I can't even, you know, when you hurt your shoulder and you've separated it and you can't like lift your arm up.
Mm.
And Dad's traveled a long way to get here. I'm in tears. You line up. Any other dad would say pack it in. I'm on the start line. I literally have to lift my arm onto the handlebars, you know, when you just can't lift it. I'm putting my goggles on like this with one arm, and I'm getting this one up a little bit. Get my goggles on. I'm in tears. Gate drops. Go. Somehow whole shot. And then I won that moto. And then the shoulder just got worse and worse and worse. And I raced all week with my shoulder just separated. It was terrible. All from trying to jump this triple on a parade lap. Stupid.
Come on, silly man. Let's hear about your silly crash.
Yeah, I've got a couple. 3 that come to mind right now. One was I went to do a race down at Landrake, and I won the race, and on the victory lap there was a long straight, so I done a wheelie and then flipped it.
Really?
Quite a fast wheelie. No, this was when I was young, like literally 12 or something on a big 85. I've come through the finish line, just popped her up, just riding it. Obviously, I'm wheelies now. It's not got no better. But in the back, I've just gone straight off, big cartwheel, snap rear, and my God, back to the pits. Just a bit upset. Yeah, I'm a bit embarrassed. Another one as a kid, I was winning the British Championship, and I'm in the garden at home. So like on Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Dad would have half a day at work. He would load the camper up. We'd all load the camper up. And then I thought, I had BMX jumps in the garden, quite good ones at that time. I was actually all right on a BMX.
No.
So I went up on the BMX, just literally 30 minutes before we was meant to leave for the race. Anyway, I've done this first double, second double, and I've just nose bonked the third double over the handlebars. Big crash, hurt my wrist. So then anyway, I've gone in the house, jumped in the bath. Obviously, I'm wiggling it. Everything feels a bit better in the bath, doesn't it? So I'm like wiggling it in the bath.
Does that.
Yeah. So I'm wiggling my wrist about. Anyway, get changed. Dad's shouting, we got to go. Jump in the camper, get up in the top bunk. I'm like crying in this top bunk. But anyway, they don't know nothing yet. Nothing. So we get to the race. It was at Donington Park. And then I've basically not really done anything. Normally we'd go out and play for a bit, but I've not done anything. I woke up in the morning. No one still knows that I've hurt my wrist. Gear up, go out on track, do like 2 laps, and I come in, they're crying, and Dad's like, what's happened? And I was like, I've hurt my wrist. He's like, what you done? So anyway, it turns out I broke my wrist, but he was like relaxed on me. Dad didn't really say much.
Did you say what you said? I did it yesterday on a BMX, or did you just say I've just overjumped a jump here?
No, I think he would have known. I think, but anyway, we'd gone to the British Championship, drove 4 hours, hard lined up, and then I had a broken wrist from jumping a BMX the day before. But the other one that's actually a really good story, and I've told it before, you probably both know about it, is when I got it didn't really hide it, but I had the injury a little bit. I got a ride. I was riding for Boss Kawasaki. I got the ride for factory Kawasaki, and I had a bit of a fractured rib. But anyway, I've flown out to ride with the team. First day I go to this track, they bring like a team photographer because I've got the factory ride because Searle and Liba are injured. And I'm like so happy to do this. So happy I've got this ride because I was struggling with the Boss team. We go to one track in France. It starts off, the whole team had drove 5 hours. Suspension bloke, engine bloke, photographer. And I'm getting ready. All I've got to bring is my helmet. They bought everything, boots, gear. I just need a helmet and knee braces. And anyway, I get the helmet out and I forgot the peak for my helmet. So first day on the team on the factory Kawasaki, I'm doing laps around this track, bullet head all day. Like, and bearing in mind, it's like it's a factory team. So it's not like you've just turned up at your mate's house and you're riding bullet head. I've got a press officer there. I've got filmer, photographer. And so I'm just testing, pulling up to this suspension like bullet head every time.
That's so
and then,
good.
It's really bad.
I wish there was pictures of this. Does anyone have a picture?
There's got to be, surely.
I don't know. I need to I need to message the bloke that was running it. There's got to be pictures. But anyway, so I'm in like this brand new Thor gear, and all I got to keep was my helmet, which was fucking Suomi helmet with no peak on. Rode the whole day. Anyway, at the end of that day, they're like, well, we're going to have to do pictures tomorrow. So we've gone to this track. I found a peak that fits on this old Suomi helmet. We drive to Veldhoven, and I'm buckling up my gear. And there's more people now there because we're like at the team workshop. Put my gear on, and I go to buckle up my boot. And as I buckled up my boot, I've cracked my rib completely. It's gone. Like I've just give it one final lock on the boot. Ribs broke. I'm in agony. So I'm like, tears of fucking thingy. I'm doing a lap. I walk up to these toilets that are miles away. I stay in these toilets for like 5 minutes. And I'm just thinking, what now? So I sort of wander back down, and mate, a couple of them come around. They're like, we're going to ride today? And I'm like, can't. So what do you mean? I'm like, I broke my rib. What do you mean you broke your rib? I was like, well, I had a bad rib anyway. It's been hurting. And I've just done my boot buckle. I broke my rib. And they just can't get their head around what's happened. And I'm just like, no, honestly. It's like, it's broken. And they're like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, well, I'll fly home. Like, I just don't know what to do. I'm in such a pickle. I've got this factory Kawasaki ride. It's my only hope. Like, my career is car crash. This could be the way back. Like, I'm just at the very bottom. It's my last bit of hope. Anyway, I went into the manager's office, and I'm like, well, yeah, book me. I'll get on a train and I'll go to Amsterdam airport. I'll fly home, and like 4 weeks I'll come back. And they're like, yeah, with nothing else. So anyway, Kawasaki then still have no riders. And that's it. I come back about 4 weeks later and have another crack, but literally just unbelievable turn of events, from getting the factory ride to riding bullet head to breaking my ribs putting the boot on.
How many races did you miss in that 4 weeks?
I think like 2. I think 1 or 2. Wasn't a lot, but then obviously I came back injured, and I actually done all right when I come back, surprisingly, but just it was just awful. The feeling I felt that day was awful.
Imagine him explaining to his big boss, yeah, Tommy, he can't race for us. Well, what's happened? Well, he's been putting his boot on and broke his rib, snapping his his boot.
You couldn't write it. Having to sit there and talk to the man and the people and literally say, all these people that are at this track, no, I'm not riding. It was just probably one of the worst things I had to do in my life, have that conversation with the man.
This is last question at Lucky Dog. Love the episodes. What point did you realize you were making it or becoming somewhat of a celebrity? Was there one moment where you saw a crowd and thought, wow, or was it gradual?
That's a good question.
When did you realize that you were a celebrity, Tom?
I'll go first. I can actually remember it, really. And it wasn't that I was at a race or anything. I remember being in a living room at home, and I think I'd have a call from my manager at the time, and he must have been speaking to my dad or something, but then it must have been got wind that I might sign for factory KTM. And I was about 16 at the time on Molson Kawasaki, and I think they'd offer me a 2-year deal with factory KTM, and I remember, or I might ride there. It was early days, and then my dad says, that'd be good, wouldn't it, on factory KTM? And I remember saying to my dad, just stop saying it. Like,
he said this last time.
Oh, I said this story. Yeah, but that's the point where I remember there's not like one point where I'm like, I done a race and I'm like, I've made it. I think that's a bit weird that you do that unless it's for you in Supercross. But that was the point where I always remember, like, I might ride for factory KTM, which is not like making it, but at the same time, it's pretty
what
special.
About like where they say celebrity? I mean, I know it's a bit of a weird question to answer, but like, none of us are celebrities here, let's be honest. But fuck, have you? When you were with MTK, when you were with MTK in Vegas 2010?
When we was in the thing.
I wasn't. You were. I was racing.
Yeah, no, there was one. No, but I didn't really know who he was, to be honest. There's no real point where I thought I'm a celebrity, or I'm just. I remember one point where I won the British GP, and then I was sat at home the following day on my own and didn't even have a mate to go with shopping. I've won the GP the day before, and now I'm sat here. And yesterday was so good, and I was signing autographs and was sat on the floor after, really happy. And the next day, I'm sat at home on the sofa on my own. up in Derby, thinking, what a difference a day makes.
To like jump in on that, I watch like Tyson Fury a lot in that, right? And he struggles with like anxiety and depression and all that. And he talks about how he'll be fighting in Wembley, win the fight that night, and then he's just at the highest of highs, right? And then the next day he'll be just sitting at home alone, just like depressed. And then during the week, what he does, I mean, I don't know if this is a made up story or not, but he says he goes and like empties the bins and that, like goes around and empties the bin. Almost like he was saying he was like doing everyone's
His
bins.
I don't think he means like other people's bin.
The way he was saying it was like he was a bin man, because he wanted to bring himself back to like.
He takes his rubbish to the tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, so but he does stuff to feel normal again.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I've seen the same thing. He goes to the tip, takes his bins, not other people's, to the tip.
He was like straight up was a bin man, like would just go around emptying bins, just trying to bring himself back to baseline. He's up here, but he's got to feel normal again. And like, I don't know. I just seen that. Sorry, I got off topic, but it just made me think. Fighting at Wembley, 90,000 people take the win, millions and millions of dollars, and then he's depressed the next day. It's pretty wild.
Well, what about you then? Back to yours. When was the first point that you thought, I've made it?
I got recognized at a petrol station by my grandma's house once. Like, I was just like, wow, this is weird. Just random petrol station, just on a random midweek day on a morning. Some, I don't know, a builder or something was on his way to work. I was like, all right.
What year was that?
I want to say it was before YouTube. So it was probably like 2019, I would have said. 2018, 2019.
That's quite late.
Yeah, I mean, well, I only started in 2017.
Yeah, no, I suppose, yeah, but it is weird.
I mean, there was times I got recognized before that, but it was just the fact, like, biking isn't big kind of up in Newcastle, where, like, I'm from. It was, like, literally around the corner from my grandma's house. So, like, wow, just a random guy. I don't know, it just stuck with us. I couldn't tell you what it looked like or anything else that went on, but I remember the petrol station anyway, put it that way.
No, I agree. It's little things.
For me, I mean, it's kind of same as Tommy was saying, finally getting the pro circuit contract. You know, that's like, that feeling was like, man, lived in Scotland, lived in Canada, moved to America, just hoping to make it racing as a living. Like, just, there's really nothing else for me to do other than race. And then to actually, and I was in a bit on limbo with Mitch because I was battling with Ryan Marias for that ride. It wasn't like I was an amateur and got that ride, midway through my last amateur year. I didn't get it till like, I think October or November. So it was really, really late. And then when I finally got that ride, it was like, it was a dream come true. Cause obviously we watched Filippo, Townley, that era. And then just thinking that I'm going to be part of that, that was a really cool feeling. That was definitely what I was like, oh, I've made it. Like, but then you've made it to that stage. And then as you boys know, you don't feel like you've ever made it because it's just a constant graph. But that was like one of the coolest feelings, was finally signing that contract. And then when it comes to like, I don't know, anything else, we're really no one outside of motocross. But when I'll be in like a random country and I'll be at the airport, I'll be somewhere and like someone will come take a picture or whatever, and we're just in like a random country. That's pretty cool. And then obviously, as you know, Tom, like Des Nations, when they're going Dino and the whole crowd's doing it, it's pretty cool as well. It's it's a pretty cool feeling. But
Des Nations is up there, isn't it? With it, that does make you feel pretty special.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool
having so many Brits at one place.
Well, there you have it. That is episode 6 of Against the Rut. And thank you everybody that has asked us questions, and I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, any questions you have, and we'll hopefully cover it in the next episode. Thanks, boys.
Thanks, Dean. Thanks, Bill.
Next week.
See ya.